In the Star Wars universe, every Jedi and Sith wields their own unique lightsaber. And because each one is built from scratch, finding two of a kind is impossible. Some keep it short, like Yoda. Some curve the hilt, like Dooku. Some add crossguards, like Kylo Ren, or make it double-bladed, like Darth Maul. But some turn their weapon into a symbol of pure fear, like Darth Vader. With its blood-red blade, this terrifying weapon became an extension of the Dark Lord's will, leaving a trail of terror and destruction in its wake. Before you is the iconic lightsaber of the Sith Lord, a canon masterpiece fans will instantly recognize by these signature features. A cylindrical hilt with longitudinal rubber grips, an angled emitter shroud, a stable red blade, and an industrial design built specifically for a cybernetic hand. It consists of 3 core components: power cell, crystal chamber, and emitting module, emitter. Let's break these down in detail. The core of the lightsaber is the power assembly. Right here is the high-capacity diadium power cell. Think of it as a mini reactor. It generates and stores the massive energy required for the blade, ensuring instant activation. The diadium cell contains a dense concentration of gas, which, thanks to this power vortex wing, ignites into a pure plasma beam when heated. The power field conductor channels this intense energy upward, looping it back as a contained magnetic or energy field. To keep all that raw power from bleeding out, we have the inert power insulator. This is incredibly crucial for Vader's lightsaber, which is specially modified to handle heavy, aggressive energy surges. Moving up, we enter the crystal energy chamber. Right above the power cell sits the primary crystal mount and the cooling system. Just past that, you'll find the focusing crystal and its activator. These are kyber crystals. Traditionally, they were the very last components added to the hilt, acting as the heart of the weapon and the true source of its power. The Sith Lord poured his pain and rage into it, completely dominating the crystal with the dark side. This brutal ritual of corrupting the kyber's nature is known as bleeding. And that is exactly why it burns blood red. The energy of a corrupted crystal is highly aggressive and volatile. Because of this, the crystal mounts at Vader's hilt had to be heavily reinforced. The energy gate regulates the flow, feeding it into the primary crystal. It converts the power and passes it down to the focusing crystal. Acting like a lens, this crystal concentrates and calms the chaotic energy, stabilizing the beam. Finally, at the top of the hilt, we have the emitting module, the emitter. This section forms the blade and maintains its shape, converting raw energy into a tight, focused plasma stream. Without the emitter, the lightsaber would just wildly shoot energy out like a blaster. Vader's emitter is massive and heavily shielded to withstand extreme power outputs. Inside, you'll find the energy modulation circuits and the magnetic stabilizing ring. The modulation circuits dictate the volume and intensity of the plasma, while the magnetic ring controls the blade's exact length. Running through the center is the blade energy channel, flanked by the heavy-duty batteries of the cycling field energizers. And right at the very top is the emitter tip. This is where that contained energy finally manifests into the iconic, visible blade. Now, let's take a look at how it works. You hit the button, and the power surges from the battery. The field conductor channels it up to the kyber crystal. The crystal converts and stabilizes the flow, and the emitter shapes it into the blade. All the 3D graphics are created entirely by hand. If you'd like to support these breakdowns or grab the project files to study, check out my Patreon. The link is in the description. And now for the big question. Is it actually possible to build a lightsaber in real life? To get a real lightsaber, the device must do 4 things. Generate a fixed-length blade. Be made of high-energy plasma or light. Hold this blade in mid-air. Be able to clash with another blade. You'd think the answer is simple. Just build a powerful laser. But a laser is just light. It doesn't stop at 1 meter. It just keeps going. Plus, you wouldn't actually be able to clash swords with it. So, what about a plasma blade? You could generate a stream of plasma and contain it with a magnetic field. But that brings up several major problems. First, power consumption. The blade needs about 7 megawatts of power. That's enough to run a small factory or an entire town of a few thousand people. To maintain a stable blade for just 5 minutes, you need about 2 tons of modern lithium-ion batteries. The only real alternative is a compact nuclear reactor like the ones used in nuclear submarines. But packing that much power into a single hilt is physically impossible today. Second, the shape. In the movies, the blade has a strictly defined length and stays intact. In reality, plasma would just dissipate into the air. And if it clashed with another lightsaber, the blades would just merge together rather than actually striking each other. Third, temperature. The plasma in the blade reaches tens of thousands of degrees. That's hotter than the surface of the sun. It would simply melt the hilt and everything else around it. That's why we need to create a magnetic field to contain the plasma, keeping it from ever touching the walls of the hilt. Technology like this has actually been tested for over half a century in tokamaks, toroidal chambers with magnetic coils. But as for when we'll be able to use it, or if we ever will, that remains a huge question. But even if the technical problems are solved, the human factor remains. Controlling a weightless blade, let alone fighting with it, is impossible without the help of the Force. An ordinary person lacks this connection, which is why a lightsaber is deadly to them. A lightsaber is just a tool in the hands of its wielder. To protect or to destroy, the choice belongs to the one who holds it. The red blade doesn't make Vader who he is. It only reflects what's already inside the Sith Lord: control, pressure, and absolute will. And in the end, the most dangerous thing about Vader is not his weapon,